Hi, I'm Hazel, and we're reporting from Project Management Institute Symposium 2016. And with me today is the president of PMI, Krishnan Srinivasan. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Today's been a great day. Yesterday has been a great day, and tomorrow will be an even better day.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, quick one, just to get this one out of the way. Where are you from?
I'm Malaysian.
Very good. And what ethnicity are you?
I'm mixed. My mother's of English descent, and my grandfather's first generation immigrant from Sri Lanka.
Right. So please do not confuse him with being an Indian, okay? Mr. Krishnan, I'm sorry. So, Mr. Krishnan, how was it like for you? How was it like for you yesterday and today in terms of coming up with the topic? So, how did you come up with the topic for the conference?
The topic we had to come up with much earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So we needed a theme.
Yeah.
And when we reflected on what's going on around us, we felt the economy is not so great. Yeah. So it's going to be difficult in the current environment. So we phrased it as project management leadership, because that's what we wanted to focus on, and in an uncertain economic environment. So it's not entirely right to say the economy is no good, but it's uncertain. So how do we cope inside that environment? So that's how we coined the phrase. It was trying to make it in keeping with current times.
Yeah, I think it's very relevant as well. But how bad is bad?
Bad is bad when you're losing jobs and budgets are getting cut and those sorts of things. We seem to be, I'm not sure we're sugarcoating stuff, but we just had the budget out and that's a little bit up on last year. So maybe things are not as bad as we all think it is. So we just have to keep chin up and look for the opportunities. There's lots of opportunities for us to raise resources from places that we didn't think they're out there. So let me just give an example.
Yes. Very good.
I actually had an opportunity to meet Professor Dean T. Kashiwagi from the University of Arizona. And he is what they call a best value in procurement practitioner. Wow. So he talks about win-win and how you can actually get experts in and get your price down. So suddenly from a budget of, let's just say you had $10 million budget, maybe you're only spending $7 million because you've got this win-win best value procurement model in place. So that's something I'm actively starting to promote, and I've already put up things on Facebook so people can actually see that. So
well done. Well done. Yeah, even for myself as a consultant, when it comes to real partners, we're always willing to bring the price down as well.
That's right.
But I saw what you were doing. You were busy in a conference over here, and then you, nonetheless, despite being busy here, you popped to the next conference. So tell us a little bit about how you practice opportunity even under high level of busyness.
Well, let me give you some background. Okay. We've never really engaged our REPs, our registered education providers. So for the first time, I think it was in June or July, we actually got our registered education providers, our trainers, to come in and meet with us. So we had a dialogue going on with them. So we were trying to build bridges so that we tried to remove the air of suspicion. Or PMI is busy removing my rice bowl sort of situation.
So building trust there.
So building some trust, okay? And I know that trust isn't built overnight. But we obviously made some inroads. So when the REP got to me, he says, listen, I've got this thing going on, it's clashing. It was actually at the AGM a couple of weeks ago. He says, it's clashing with your thing and it's in the same hotel. And I said, oh my God, this was under my breath. But and Matthew actually echoed my thoughts. And I said, don't worry, Matthew, it is what it is. Just let it flow. We'll deal with it as we go along. And then a few days lapse, and he calls me and says, you know this thing, I've already sent the flyer to you, this, that, and the other. Can you help to promote my event? I said, yeah, I'll do that. And sure enough, I did that.
So semi competitors-ish.
So rather than competing, we're trying to partner.
Beautiful.
And so he invites me in to come and do a lucky draw. So I said, I can do that on condition I'm not preoccupied with something else. But I was very conscious that you were doing something as well, and I wanted to hear firsthand. It was just nice. You finished, and then I was removed from it. I went over there, and what did I do?
Yeah.
I used that opportunity because there was another 80 people there,
Yeah.
many of whom probably don't know who PMI is or
Right.
what PMP is.
Right.
So I asked Matthew, do you mind if I do a small pitch? He says, yeah, you got 2 minutes. So I said to the audience, hey, we're doing this employer outreach thing. We've been to four
Yeah.
organizations, Bank Negara, Gamuda,
Yeah.
Johor Corp and Felder Pro Data.
Right.
Please come up to me or go to Matthew afterwards and tell them that you're interested to do this. And we'll be
Beautiful.
more willing to do this.
So seizing opportunities even with potential competitors to brand in on their stage. You're very clever. That's a very clever thing to do.
Actually, it's not so much about being clever.
That's true.
It's about being opportunistic.
Yes.
You see the opportunity, grab it. Now, I don't claim to be a non-procrastinator because that's probably my single biggest weakness.
Yeah.
But here, when you see the opportunity,
take
you
it.
have to grab
Yeah.
it. You don't ask, you don't get. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Totally true. Very good. And what are you doing with PMI? What is your main agenda this year?
When I took on the presidency of the chapter, my focus was entirely on membership.
Okay.
And at the beginning of this year, we were at 540.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we were at 733.
Wow.
We've got 35% plus
Congratulations.
growth just in terms of membership. And
fantastic.
a few things we've been doing
Yeah.
just to drive that, one of which was the REP forum. Another one was obviously
What's
the employer
what's
outreach.
worked the best in terms of increasing membership?
I suspect, I can't put my finger exactly on which one did
Yeah.
what. I suspect our social media has actually worked wonders for us, and that was something that we laid down last year.
So it is all about digital generation now, huh?
It's,
It is.
it's just making people aware
Yeah.
we are here.
We're here.
We are here for you. Come join us. Come and make it happen.
And so it was today. It was really fantastic the past 2 days. Maybe a key message of your learning from the past 2 days. What was your top highlight?
We had some really magnificent speakers come forward. One of them, whom we'd actually had experience of, was Doc Said.
Yeah.
He's a Dato, but he doesn't like to be referred to that. And he refers to me as bro, like I'm his bosom buddy sort of situation. So he makes you feel very comfortable and he's very approachable. So a lot of us, because someone's carrying a title,
Yeah.
we are reluctant to approach
to them,
them.
yeah.
He's too special, he's a VIP, I can't
Correct.
go to him.
And so what was your key takeaway from that? Your
So-
highlight, your top highlight.
Well, for me, before the symposium happened, I thought it would be you because
Yeah.
I have not seen you before, but I'd seen feedback through the event that you did in the evening talk.
Right.
And it was high energy.
Right.
It was all this dancing and jumping around and whatever else it is.
Hopefully there was a lot of content as well.
Yeah, there was content, but
Yes.
I wouldn't have known that at that time. But
Yes.
today,
Yeah.
there was content, there was theory, there was application, there was relation to
Right.
survey, and of course there was the activity there.
Yeah.
The shame was we didn't schedule it for after lunch when everyone was reaching out for their pillows.
That's true. That's
So
true.
we would have woken up
That's true,
everyone.
that's true.
So
So-
that was certainly one. And Doc Said, he was just a star in his own in his
Yeah,
own right. And he was even
definitely.
here today talking to people, which actually
Yeah.
surprised me.
Yeah.
You know what? He
Amazing.
did something really, really special for me. He comes along and he gives me this BMW. I don't know what you call it.
Was it the
16
car
gig thumb drive. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
And,
That is so
and
cool.
that was
It looks-
after yesterday
Yeah.
when Welling and the team
Yeah.
bounced a surprise on all of us
Yeah.
who were the October babies.
Yeah.
My birthday is day after tomorrow,
Yeah.
so it was
it
earlier
looks
birthday.
like a real key.
Yeah,
It really
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like a real
yeah,
key.
yeah.
So to our friends back home, that's
This is such touching things, not expected, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is yet another highlight. The birthday cake yesterday was a nice bit of tenderness that was
Yeah.
offered by the team.
Yeah.
And certainly you alluded to it when we
Yeah.
talked about the hugs, right?
Absolutely.
So we all need the hugs from time to time.
absolutely, we all do. Last one, friends back home who are probably project managers, what's your advice to them? Just one simple, short, sweet, quick advice.
Keep it simple. Don't fret and frown on it. It'll work out in the end.
Yeah.
So
Have some faith.
Certainly have some faith. Look after number one. That's very important.
Yeah.
The jobs come and go, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank you.
and thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Hetal. Thank you.